All right. Hey, everybody. So this is Josh Bruce, and today we're going to be talking about the reMarkable some more. I just got it back. So kudos for that, or yay for that, I should say. Um, and basically, so if you don't know, if you're just coming into this, basically, the original reMarkable that I had, that I bought just before Christmas, that's pertinent because we're going to be talking about support, right? Um, Basically, I ended up having to return it because it had a line of dead pixels. So they actually do use the same terminology as you would for an LCD monitor or what have you. So ended up having to send it back through a support ticket. I will say support was one, very easy to find, two, very easy to communicate with. So let's go ahead and switch over to all the things. All right, so this is the reMarkable website. If you've seen the other videos, then you're kind of familiar. We're going to go ahead and dismiss the $50 off offer, as well as the cookie policy for GDPR compliance. And we're going to look for support. Now, and what sort of experience to expect from that. Now, you might have realized that I kind of have a chip on my shoulder about companies and organizations that really seem to make it difficult for you to find support, mainly because I have a very hardcore philosophy of make things you want people to do easy to do, make things you don't want them to do difficult to do. So if your marketing language includes phrases like we really want to talk to you and we're going to support you and that sort of a deal, reMarkable doesn't, but that's fine. If yours has something like that going for itself, and yet I have to jump around through 3 or 4 different levels of your site, or do worse yet, an actual search on a search engine to find your support page and then get redirected to anyways, you get the idea. Make it simple if you actually want to talk to me. Support, it's right there. Like literally right there. Good times. So you can do a search, look through the knowledge base, pick different topics. They have the returns and the return policy, so on and so forth. So pretty simple to do. Basically, I clicked on the link for hardware because that was sort of the issue. And then they wanted to know like what is it about, and basically, not buttons, the canvas display. I can read sort of about this. Was this article helpful? Sure, why not? And pretty good stuff. And I don't remember actually the steps that I had to take. So it might take me a little bit. Need help. There we go. And return and replacement, the return policy. So we can see the policy, yay. And it also has the instructions, I believe. Yeah, contact customer service. Contacting customer service will bring up a way to send them an email. So I did that. I went through all of that good jazz. And I can't remember when I did it. So we're going to take a look at reMarkable support. And it looks like 12/16 maybe. Yeah, so I sent some pictures of the dead pixels. Got a very friendly email from someone on the support team, and I don't want to mispronounce their name, so I'm really sorry. But it was the same person, or at least the same persona each time. And I've mentioned this in some of the other videos as well. That consistency, that at least we're giving the appearance of talking to the same person the entire time, helps to create trust, right? Whereas some other experiences I've had, especially going through things like Twitter, where you've got like a Twitter call center, where basically the name of the signature is different every time, right? It's still communicating with that company or organization, but there's a little tail end so that basically you can, say, well, talk to M underscore blah, 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 all right? So anyway, basically, they straight up did not argue, did not debate what I was talking about. I said, here, this is what I seem to be experiencing. And they said, here, this is how you do it. And this is one of the things that I really appreciated. They basically gave me a link to, let's get a copy of this real quick. Quick being a loose term. Oh, screw it. I can just type it faster. So it's going to be reMarkable 12 returns. So they use a third-party service for this. And basically you come to, eventually, thank you, a reMarkable branded page. And this is where I was saying that they use the shot that I talked about in one of the other reMarkable videos. They reuse it, or they've repurposed it, and basically they flipped it horizontally. And I can't tell, but I think it's been cropped slightly different, because I think this pole actually goes all the way up in the other image. But they're flipping it for good reason. There's basically this, where the form is, they, you know, the model would be there, basically, if they were using the image as is from the website. So anyway, you can log in, or if you don't have an account, you can create one. I think you can do this through third-party sign-up. No, you have to go there direct, which is fine. And basically, once you get in, there's, and I don't want to show off all my business. So basically, once you get in, there's pretty much just a form that says, what are you looking to return, why, and that sort of a deal. Then I got an email from 12 Return with instructions on how to do this. And basically what you do is user account for reMarkable, your return request. We want to inform you that your return request, blah, blah, blah. Your return request, and it has an identifier, so it's basically a support ticket number. And then you eventually get the ability to print shipping labels. So basically, you don't pay for shipping. That's one, right? So basically, they've baked it into the cost of the device and their commitment to not having a lot of returns, because if they have a lot of returns, they're going to lose money. So instead, at least this is my rationale, right? If I was in their position, this is how I would do it. I'm not saying this is how they did it. Okay, let's just be clear. Basically, what I would do is I would bake in a little bit extra, what I think the overhead is, into the cost of the device, and then based on how many were actually getting returned, right? If a lot were getting returned, I couldn't afford to keep operating that way as a business. So it is a little bit more, or it demonstrates to a user or a consumer that we have a little bit more faith in the quality of our products if we're willing to say, all right, cool, we're going to print the labels for you. You just need to figure out a way to get it to us, right? There's going to be a box, and you're going to need to get a box and put the labels on and everything like that. And this isn't the first company that I've come to with this, or that's had this kind of setup. So basically, I printed them out, and you pick a day. You say, this is the day that I want you to come pick it up, because they use DHL as their service. And since we're no longer looking at the website, let's switch back. All right. So basically, they're going to ask you what day is a good day for you to come and get the thing. And basically, once you tell them, they come by and they pick it up, right? So DHL, I want to say Christmas Eve, in fact, came by after I put my device in the box again. And they stopped by my place, and I gave them the box with 3 copies of the what did they call it? I can't remember. The form, basically. And they just took it off my hands, and I said goodbye, and that was pretty much the end of that, right? So now here's the thing. There was a lot of communication that was happening during this whole process. So from the 24th to the 7th of January, so we're talking like 2 weeks, this device, over a holiday on top of that, went from the Pacific Northwest, so Washington State, in the United States, to China. And basically when it got there, they did their little look over and things like that. Took a couple of days, I'm sure. And they sent me another email that basically said, we're going to send you a replacement device and you should get it in a few days. Well, sure enough, I got it in a few days. So all of this stuff, again, from previous videos that we talked about, especially I think it was reMarkable 1 or reMarkable Journey 1, it's about establishing trust. How can we make someone comfortable to do business with us? And so now I have it back. Yay me. With that said, there's still nothing that keeps the device from rattling around. So, hopefully that didn't show my address, but we'll edit. And so, yeah, basically that's what we're looking at. So we could probably actually do a real life unboxing. So let's get to it. Switch. All right, so here we go. Still using the handy dandy kitchen knife. I do have scissors, but I don't know. Something about doing this way since I was a kid. Sorry for the audio. All right, so we're gonna try. There we go. Such a satisfying sound. So as you can see, like I said, it's not in the other video. I mean, it's not too crazy up in here, but there is like this 1 inch gap. So, just putting a little bit of foam of some sort up in there would be great. The fact that it is brought with the labeling up is a good touch. And I have no idea where that shadow's coming from. 2 seconds. All right, so I keep playing with setups, and basically, here's the deal. 1, this is just a reflection of the actual camera, because this is wrapped in the really bright and shiny cellophane, so not much we can do about that. With that said, I think the setup is a little bit better. So in reMarkable 1 or reMarkable Journey 1, I mentioned that there's this little gap here that makes this a prime position to insert the knife. So in theory, I should be able to go from the back, right, using the back of the knife so that I know I'm not going to mess up the box too much, and then use the point to my advantage. All right, so there we go. And it's the same box. I mean, it's a brand new device, but it's the same box. And you can see we've got the magnetic clasp with the satin. Still wish this would open from the left to the right, but same year, same model. See, we still have that foam here. And again, we still have the folio that's wrapping the device. I don't know why it doesn't clear all of this down here, but whatever. There's the marker. And again, removing the marker first makes it easier to get the device out. And we know cables and marker tips are in here, so let's not worry too much about that. Okay, and so here's the cellophane like I was talking about, and the fact that this pull tab, it's not really a pull tab, right? It's stuck down with a sticker. And so basically you have to, get that sticker up. Not that it's very difficult, but I think it would be cool for it to be a way to actually lift the device out, especially since the rest of the cellophane or whatever material this is there. It's ready. Like it's totally a thing, right? So like basically In fact, hang on. Let's fold this over. Okay, or not. Let's just take the whole thing off. How about that? There we go. So basically, if we come in here and we go put this in here, and I open it, and this tab is there without the tape or without the adhesive, because there is a mild adhesive back here, I should be able to just lift the device out, roll it over, and there you go, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. All right, so glad we could demo that. Sorry for that bang. I wasn't expecting that to be like that. So now we're going to hold the button down to power it on. We do have a little bit of a charge, so thank God for that. And it does take a little bit of time to boot up. And yeah, I mean, it's the same exact device I had, but I should be able to actually demo the onboarding experience now since it is a new device. And I'm hoping that it already comes with, or rather, when I talked with support, I did ask the question, does it come with Codex 2? And they said no, which is fine. I mean, it kind of is what it is. And so they haven't done that. So they still have, it sounds like they're doing traditional hardware manufacturing, where basically these do sit in a warehouse as is, and then they get shipped out, and until they're out of them, they're not going to create any new ones. So choose a Wi-Fi network. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm on my Wi-Fi network, and one of the other things that I wanted to mention is that the keyboard on this, while it doesn't refresh as quickly, right? Like the when you tap a key, it'll become a black square with the letter reverse type on there, and then basically it'll go away. But you can keep typing. You can keep going. Like I've seen some demos where basically the people doing the demo are like, let me wait for the key to go away. Let me wait for the key to go away. And it's like, no, you can do what you got to do. All right, so it looks like we need to, in order to connect the device to the, oh, and I did notice that there is a way to skip this step. So you don't have to sign up for an account with reMarkable. That was something that I didn't remember. But this is one of the reasons that I've got this device in the first place. So we're definitely going to do this. So let me sign into myremarkable.com real quick, if I can remember the login credentials. And it looks like they do have third-party sign-in. So you can use something like Facebook or Google. Okay, and so we are logged in. We're going to connect a new reMarkable. Looks like I need to disconnect my current reMarkable because they're only allowing one reMarkable at a time. So connect a new reMarkable. It's currently only possible to have one reMarkable device connected to your account. First, you need to disconnect your existing device. Okay. Allow all cookies. Oops, I usually only choose allow necessary cookies. How do I know which files are synced? I don't have my existing card. My files are synced and I want to continue. Disconnect my current device. Disconnect. And now I've got the one-time passcode. So now I can demo the keyboard. And this is a reverse keyboard, so it doesn't have the, they're going to go white instead of black. So HB, oops, HB N H H G X V. And you can see that I didn't wait around for, everything. So just to do it again, right? So maybe a little bit faster this time. HBNHHGXV. I don't know if I'm going to need to hide this or not. We're going to find out. So it says it's connecting. Success. reMarkable is now connected to your account. Download the mobile apps, I already did, and the desktop app, I already did. Continue, left or right-handed. Let's go with left-handed. Continue. Setup complete. Your reMarkable is ready to go. Get started. And so what's nice is that it's happening in the background while they're doing the new notebook, giving me the intro, new quick sheet, new folder. Really good descriptions of all of these things. There we go. 3 dots equals a menu, so on and so forth. We don't really need to read this stuff because, well, actually, I do want to see what their description is of the physical buttons. Push the top button, turn off. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so I understand. We're going to hit the RM logo. We're going to enable updates. We're going to check for an update. Version 2020 available, starting update. So it is starting the process. So it's downloading that. Let's let it do its thing. Ooh, in fact, since we're here, let's go with reset, stopwatch, start. So now it's installing. Restart the device. Go ahead and get started. I'm not going to read the release notes. So basically, if we look at this from a purely pragmatic perspective, from the moment of purchase, taking out for the fact that I was talking for a lot of this, basically in, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes, you are done. You are set. You are ready to go, right? That's a pretty killer onboarding experience. And even, I don't remember exactly onboarding to having a reMarkable account. I'll say that it might add 3 more minutes to your whole round trip for email verifications and all of that good jazz. But basically, here we are. And I don't sort by last edited. I sort by, oh wow, they changed it to alphabetical instead of name. Okay. So I sort by name, and the reason that I do that is that what I call the forge is here, and then right next to it is the crucible. And the way I did that is basically using the bang or the exclamation mark, because exclamation marks, the symbols come before numbers and the numbers come before letters when you sort things alphabetically. So that's pretty good times. Um, let's go to the menu here. Okay, so you're basically just exposing it. And then, of course, I've favorited the Forge, the Crucible, and Quick Sheets because this basically replaces my composition book through the Forge and the Quick Sheets, but then it adds in the possibility of having notes somewhere else. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to talk about on this score. I think let's take a look at our show notes. I mean, we still got the anti-aliasing. I mean, nothing about the device has actually changed because it's literally the same exact hardware. I will say these buttons actually do feel a little bit better. They feel a little bit stiffer, but I can feel where they're on the edges. You're not actually going to hit the button, which is in the middle of them, or you have the risk of not actually hitting the buttons. And so I think we actually put the drawings in the quick sheet. Let's go down to the notebook itself, go into our thumbnail view. Yeah, so I mean, everything is here. There's the drawing from reMarkable Journey 1, there's the drawing from reMarkable Journey 2, and there's the drawing from reMarkable Journey 3. No. Yeah. Oh, right. The layers don't keep their visibility with what you last set them as. Go away. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. So let's switch back to the face cam, as it were. All right, so there we have it. A new unboxing video, a new reMarkable. I'm actually really enthused to kind of have this back. I'm not gonna lie, I did miss it, right? When I went back to, hang on. When I went back to Old Faithful here, it was nice to be able to, right? Don't get me wrong. The ability to just kind of go, yeah, come get my thing that's not working, and just be able to open it up and go to town. It also gave me, or afforded me, the opportunity to check to see if it would work the way I want it to, because this is a digital device, and no matter how stable it is, it's still a volatile device, right? Similar to my laptop, right? I put most of my stuff in the cloud or on GitHub or various other services that do that sort of thing. And that's because if this thing gets lost in the ocean, you can't see it, but like if that gets lost in the ocean, I didn't lose all of my data, right? That was one of from the old school days of computing, that was the biggest issue with the devices. Even people who had laptops did not transport them a lot, because if they lost them, that was all of their data, right? And so now, with the ubiquity and prevalence of things like autosave and cloud storage, we're getting to a point where that's no longer really an issue. And hardware is becoming even more and more commoditized, because the thing of value is not the tool, it's the thing that the tool builds or allows you to create or facilitates. This facilitates something for me, and it does have cloud storage. And so while I was waiting for DHL and reMarkable to do their thing, I went back to Old Faithful. And I can't have two of these attached to the same account, right? I can't have two reMarkables on one account. And so it's really nice that I could look at my phone, and that's what I would do. I would basically look at my phone, see what was in the Forge from it, and see if I wanted to transfer it or not, or if I thought I could wait. And then I would just add new stuff here. And now I'm going to be doing the opposite, right? I'm basically going to, and I was kind of doing it today a little bit, but basically I'm going to see what's here and in the reMarkable, cross it out on this notebook, and then transfer things back into the reMarkable as necessary. So Don't throw your stuff away just because you got something to replace it. At least depending on what it is. That's what I'll say. No, breaking stuff. All right. So with that said, really enjoying the fact that this is back, and hopefully that gave you some insight into what the support process is like. And that's kind of the major stuff with regard to the series. And to be honest, there's nothing that I would change about that, about the return and support process at all. Except maybe the fact that I had to print it, because I don't own a printer, and I haven't owned a printer since 2014, 2015, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I did need to find somebody to print it for me. Luckily, the leasing office here, they don't have a business center, but they were nice enough to print it for me. And so basically, yeah, I wouldn't change anything about that. And that pretty much means that we have the experience, the sort of overall experience. Now it's about capturing and talking about the continued experience. I don't know how often that will be, but because I'm just figuring this stuff out. Maybe let me know in the comments how often you'd like to see a video about the reMarkable, or maybe I'll just do them on demand. You know, like, hey, so how's it going with the reMarkable? I guess we'll find out. But basically, so we've gone from completely oblivious, so having no idea that this category of device even existed, having no idea what reMarkable or who reMarkable was, or at least no real idea, right? I think I remember seeing some of the social media ads for the Kickstarter, right, that they did. We've gone through that to ordering, to the unboxing, and through the replacing, right? The actual support. So there you go. Yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments how often you'd like to hear updates about the reMarkable, or what I might end up doing is actually renaming that playlist to Rapid Capture and Recall, right? Because that's really what this device is for. It's not the fact that it's a reMarkable, it's that it's a laptop. Oh, and if you're curious to know, I recently purchased joshbruce.dev. I actually have 3 Josh Bruce sites altogether, and they're all going to have different content on them. I'm working on some of the content now, and basically I'm setting it up in that same fashion, where I don't say the MacBook Pro 15-inch or whatever. I basically say laptop, right? So whatever laptop I happen to be using at the time, and maybe some historical stuff, like I don't know. We're still figuring it out. Let me know. Feedback always welcome. I mean, it's an experience channel, that should go without saying. So anyway, with that said, as always, thank you so much for making the time. I definitely do appreciate it. I'm gonna go do some reMarkable things. Have a good one. See ya.